What's up, guys? We're talking UFC Welterweight division. And the king of that division is none other than Mr. Tyron Woodley. Now, Tyron Woodley has been the dominant champion in that division after he knocked out reigning champion, ruthless Robbie Lawler. There has been no lack of contestants, of contenders chasing Woodley. Now, here's the thing. For some reason, Woodley is always embroiled in some sort of controversy. It's either Woodley versus Dana White, Woodley versus Colby Covington, Woodley versus Kamaru Usman, and those are the two gentlemen that are vying for the number one contendership. The question is, and what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is who deserves the title shot versus Tyron Woodley? Colby Covington or Kamaru Usman? Now, let's take it back for a minute. After Woodley knocked out Robbie Lawler, Woodley went on a run. He fought 4 times in a year between 2016 and 2017. Woodley fought 4 times, defending his title 3 times after winning it. That's 4 title bouts, 4 5-round fights in a year's time. Then he took a year off and had surgery. Fair enough. That should be allowed. He came back in September of 2018 for another dominant victory against Darren Till. Now, that's what? September, October, November, December, January. That was 4 months ago. That's not that long of a layoff. We're assuming Woodley's going to come back somewhere between March and June. Remember, athletes like George St-Pierre and many other UFC champions, they fight twice per year, and that's pretty much how the UFC likes it. They want their champions to fight twice per year unless they have some sort of hole to fill in a card. So, Kamaru Usman has been the most vocal going directly at Woodley in that he had said Woodley needs to either vacate or fight him. Now, I disagree with that. And I think Kamaru's a great fighter. Colby Covington's a great fighter. Woodley has proven that he's a great fighter and he's the champ of the division. I disagree with this whole vacate or defend in 4 months. Now, we can start talking about getting a fight signed. Yeah, that's fine. And I wouldn't even be that mad if Woodley doesn't come back until July. Let's make sure our champions are ready to go. I don't think there's a bottleneck. I wouldn't mind seeing Covington fight Usman for the true number one contendership. That should be the way it should go. Me personally, I think Colby Covington deserves the title shot. Colby has been at the top of the division longer than Usman for whatever reason. Maybe he just got the matchups earlier, or he was more willing to fight more often than Usman has been. I don't know why, but Covington has been at the top of the division longer than Usman has. They're both tough fights. Don't get me wrong here. I'd like to see Covington fight Woodley, but also that's a much bigger fight. Covington versus Woodley is a much bigger fight because they were both teammates. They both trained at American Top Team together, and Covington said he used to smash Woodley. Is that true? I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. You weren't there. You didn't see it, but I want to see it. That makes me really intrigued. Is that true? Could that be true? Did Colby run through and smash the champ? Is Colby the uncrowned champion of the welterweight division? And is that why Woodley won't fight him? We'll see. That's what makes a very strong narrative to build a world title fight and a UFC pay-per-view. Usman, on the other hand, it's really more about his credentials. Usman isn't that good of a smack talker. See, I'm not cursing. Pulled back my cursing this year. I'm working really hard. Usman's not that good of a smack talker just yet. Maybe he'll grow into that, but that's not the way that he's going to get in the big fights. Winning big is the way he gets in the big fights, and he has won big. He just beat Rafael dos Anjos, former UFC lightweight champion. He just beat Demian Maia not long before that, former UFC 170 and 185-pound title contender. I think Maia fought for the welterweight title also. That's pretty good, but Colby did it. Colby fought them also. Colby fought them first, and Colby beat them just as well. So Colby deserves it. Colby deserves it. I would like to see, if Woodley's going to sit out past March, I'd like to see Covington versus Usman. And then I'd like to see the winner fight Woodley somewhere in summertime. That would be the ideal scenario. I would love to see Woodley come back sooner. I'd love to see Woodley come back in maybe March or so. Hopefully Woodley's healthy. He's had a few different injuries. He's had some surgeries, and that is his right to get fixed. Okay, we're not pushing athletes out there who are hurt. That's his right to get fixed. And usually the way the UFC has run this, if an athlete, if a champion sits out for longer than a year, then they would possibly get stripped, or then there would be an interim title. Now, the UFC made this a little murky because they've been throwing these interim titles all over the place, and that hurts them. That hurts their credibility. It hurts the credibility of the title, hurts the credibility of the interim title, it hurts the credibility of the #1 contenders. I wish they would stick to one rule all the way through. I really wish that they would do that, but they don't do that right now, and that's unfortunate. That being said, I think Woodley versus Covington is the fight to make, and if Woodley's not ready yet to fight Covington, Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Now, Usman and Covington, I don't believe want to fight each other. They want to fight for the title. And I get that also because there's much more money to fight Woodley. And it's about the same risk. Covington versus Usman is the same risk as Covington versus Woodley or Usman versus Woodley or Woodley versus Usman. All three guys are that good. Whatever you think about these guys, they're all really fucking good. They're all top of the food chain. They can all beat each other on any given day. That being said, Woodley holds the chips. He's the champion. He's the champion, and he's earned that right. That's what a champion is. A champion calls the shots at the end of the day. And I think Woodley wants to fight Covington because there's bigger dollars in the Covington fight. Why risk fighting Usman for less pay-per-view dollars when he can fight Covington, high-risk fight, for considerably more money? That's the fight I believe Woodley wants. That's the fight Dana White wants. That's the fight Covington wants. That's not the fight Usman wants. Usman will get there. I don't see anybody else in the division being able to beat Usman. Usman just might not get the first crack at Woodley. I'd like to see Usman go out there and smash somebody else. Smash somebody else. Really stake his claim, make it clear that there's nobody else in the division, and try and catapult forward even above Colby. Let's say Woodley sits out a little longer and Covington doesn't want to fight anybody until Woodley comes out. Usman goes out there, takes a quick fight, smashes someone, and gets a finish. All of a sudden, now the fans are on Usman's side, and that might turn the table. Very possible. That might turn the table. We saw Rory MacDonald do that a few years ago after Johny Hendricks lost his title to Robbie Lawler, right? We saw that happen. We saw Johny Hendricks sit back and take an easier fight against Matt Brown and didn't look very good. We saw Rory MacDonald go out there and take a tough fight, look amazing, and he was able to jump Johny because Johny was promised a rematch. Rory MacDonald went out there, had a big win. I forget the opponent right now, jumped Johny and was able to fight Robbie, which became a fight of the year. Not candidate, but became the fight of the year back in, I think, 2017. That's the way it works. That's the way it works in the game. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments below. I want to hear. Let's have a dialogue about this. Would you like to see Woodley versus Covington or Woodley versus Usman? But what do you think about Covington versus Usman for that #1 contendership? And the winner of that fights Woodley later on this summer. Let's play armchair Mick Maynard here. Let's play armchair Dana White right here. Let's try and figure out. Let's talk about it below. Make sure you go back and you look at our other videos on this channel. We got lots of fighting videos and lots of fitness videos. That's what this channel is going to be about right now, guys and gals. Fighting and fitness. Everything you need to know about fighting and fitness. Remember, I'm an insider. Again, on this cell phone, I have every name. I have every phone number. I have text messages that would make you blush and blow your mind. Some of this I cannot share with you guys, but some of it I definitely will. And let me tell you, I predict the fight's going to be Covington versus Woodley, and I think announcements are going to be coming very, very soon. As if I know something about that. Leave your comments below, subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you don't like this video, you don't know what you're talking about. Until next time, boom!